Hey, Mike with D2D Millionaire here. And is your vocabulary costing you sales while you're marketing door to door? It could be one of the main reasons you're not making as many sales as you could be. So one thing that happens with a lot of sales reps is they unknowingly use certain words and phrases that can actually be costing them the sale while they're marketing door to door. And again, one thing that you really want to keep in mind is that when you're selling door to door, you don't want to come off as just another person that's there trying to sell them something. You want to come off as a messenger of good news. And when you use certain terms, certain vocabulary, unfortunately, that can cause in your potential customer's mind basically you to come off as just someone that's there to sell them something. So one thing to definitely avoid is using the word problem. See, one thing that happens is, especially when you're selling, is when you talk about problems or someone having a problem, first of all, most people don't want to admit that they have problems, right? You know, when was the last time you told all your friends you were having issues in your life, you were having all kinds of problems? Most people don't like to admit to that, right? So when you're selling, most people aren't going to admit to having a problem, or if you position what you're doing as such, you're not going to get the best results. So for example, let's say you were marketing pest control. You wouldn't want to talk about immediately right off the bat that everyone in the neighborhood is experiencing rodent problems. What kind of rodent problems are you seeing right now? Again, like I said, a lot of times people aren't going to want to admit to that. And then on top of that, people kind of have different scales in their mind of what's a problem and what's not a problem, right? So somebody might have a problem with seeing any bug or any pest activity whatsoever, while other people, they're totally fine seeing bugs or pests here and there as long as they're not major issues in their mind, right? So when you talk about problems or people having problems, again, one person might be fine with what they're experiencing. So if you position it that they're also experiencing a problem, you might just not even have a sale. The conversation just kind of immediately ends. So some things that you can do to kind of avoid that would be using things like issue, situation, activity. So, you know, we've been noticing a lot of increased pest activity in the neighborhood. Your other neighbors or the Smiths down the street have been noticing a lot of increased rodent activity. You know, have you been seeing that as well? Or do you typically see rodent activity in the outside of your home, or have you been experiencing it inside as well? So again, framing it in a different way and not talking about pest problems or rodent problems or security problems, whatever it is that you happen to be marketing, can get you a lot better results. Another thing to avoid talking about is the word contract. And again, a lot of times people don't like that word, right? You've paid attention to any of how cell phones are working these days, or cable companies, right? They don't like to talk about contracts, and you should avoid doing that as well, because it can immediately throw up red flags in your potential customer's mind, where when they hear contract, it makes them think of things that they're locked into, they're stuck with, things they can't get out of. And again, it's kind of positioning it in a way of how it's benefiting your company and your business instead of how it's benefiting the potential customer. So a great way to rephrase that is going to be using the term service agreement. And again, just that alone, service agreement, is basically what you're agreeing to do for that potential customer. So again, it's positioning it in a way of how is it benefiting them versus how is it benefiting you. And another thing to really talk about when you're talking about service agreements can be things like service guarantees, you know, money back guarantees, different safeguards that are there for that potential customer. And you can talk about, hey, this is how our service agreement works. Here's what we're willing to do. Like, here's how we're holding up our end of the bargain. If we fall through or if we fail on you, here are your safeguards that you could get out of that service agreement, or make sure that you don't lose out, right? So again, instead of framing of it as a contract and how they're benefiting you, they're signing up, they're getting stuck with paying you every month or service, whatever the case might be, you're switching it and talking about how you're going to provide value to them through that service agreement. And when you do that, you're going to get a lot better results. Another couple of words to avoid are going to be selling and signing up. Now, again, like I said earlier, one of the worst ways you can position yourself while you're selling door to door is just another person that's there trying to sell them something, right? And so again, you want to come off as a messenger of good news. So when you say things like, oh, we're here in the neighborhood just selling all the neighbors our services, or right now we're doing a special where we're signing up your neighbors for XYZ. Again, people love to buy, but they hate being sold, right? So no one really wants to have that feeling that they're being sold or taking advantage of or anything like that. So again, when you talk about selling them stuff or signing them up for stuff or getting them on a program, like no one likes the feeling of getting got, right? They don't like that feeling of being taken advantage of or sold something, but they're more than happy to buy something that benefits them and provides value to their life. So that's really how you want to position it. So instead of saying signing up or selling, talk about how we're offering a discount. Here's the value we're providing. Here's how we're servicing the neighbors. Here's what we're offering this week. This is the special that we have going on right now. We just wanted to let you know. We wanted to inform you about it so you didn't miss out in case you wanted to take advantage of it. So again, you're talking about how you're delivering this great product and service. You know, it may or may not be for them, and either way, that's totally cool. But right now we're in the neighborhood letting the other neighbors know of the service that we're offering right now in case you wanted to take advantage of it and also get that special discount that we're offering for these new customers. So again, instead of talking about selling and them signing up and buying your services, again, you're positioning it in a way of the value that you're providing to them and seeing if they're open to it and then seeing how you can help. So again, if you avoid these trigger words, you know, these words that are going to end up throwing up red flags for your potential customers, you're going to get a lot better results and be able to make more sales while you're marketing door to door. So again, hopefully you guys got some benefit and value out of this video. If you did, feel free to comment and share. And if you do happen to be in door-to-door marketing or selling door-to-door, be sure to head on over to dddmillionaire.com and just fill out your information there to get access to our free podcast training. Basically, we go through how to avoid the 5 most common reasons why sales reps fail while they're marketing door-to-door. So again, if you want to take your business to the next level this year, increase your sales, or maybe just have your best year yet in door-to-door sales, again, head on over to dddmillionaire.com, fill out that information to get that free training. But thanks again for tuning in. We'll talk to you more soon.